Welcome to topic 5. We are going to be talking about rates and ratios, proportions, and we're going to get into some graphing in this unit. All right, so for rates and ratios, this is something that was covered in 5th grade, so today is a review. Of course, we're going to be taking these a little bit farther. All right. You should have these notes, so this is what I'm working on. All right. So the first thing we want to do is when we work with ratios, they're going to be fractions, but they have to be in simplified form. So for instance, the first one says 8 vanilla. Whatever they say first is what goes in the top. So 8 is going to go on top, and then we're going to put the 14 chocolate on the bottom. Okay, it is very important. We're not going to write the units when we write a ratio, but we do need to be very careful that we know that the top is vanilla and the bottom is chocolate, so that if we were dealing with other word problems, we would be able to keep them in the right spot. Now, I know 8 and 14 are both even, so I can divide by 2. And when I do that, I get 4/7. So this is going to be my fraction in simplified form. We can also write a rate as 4.7 and for the word 7. All three of these things are ways that we show rates, but be careful, or ratios and rates, but be careful that you always simplify when it's in any of these, okay? All right, so the next one is 36 even to 12. All right, we need to reduce that. So this is going to be 36 over 12, but I know 12 goes into 36 3 times. So we're going to say 3, but we're going to keep the 1 in the denominator because this says we have 3 even to 1 odd. Now, 3 over 1 is the fraction form. We have our 3.1 and our 3.2.1. Okay, so all three of these, we're going to keep that 1. It's not going to go away because this is how we show a ratio with 2 numbers. All right, so this is a ratios. Whatever they say first goes on the top, whatever they say second goes on the bottom, and we always do reduced form, and there are 3 ways to write it, and all of them would work. All right, for the next one, using the ratio table. So this is a table. We're going to use this to find the unit rate, and it should not say 7, so please erase or get rid of that. Find the unit rate, pounds per box. So when you find a unit rate, let's jump down here for a minute. A ratio is going to be a comparison of 2 quantities. You can compare more, but you have to have at least 2. And because it is a fraction form, okay, because it's fraction, we know that we are using division. And that's why we set it up with the fraction bar. A rate is still a ratio of 2 quantities with different units. So in the first example that we looked at, we were dealing with maybe cupcakes. These were both, I don't know, just rolling the dice maybe, okay? Those were not different units. Now down here, we're looking at this. This has pounds and boxes. Those are not the same units, and that is why this is a rate, okay? Now, we're asked to find the unit rate. Unit rate is very important, so here is unit rate. Unit rate is a rate with a denominator and a denominator, you should remember, is the bottom number. And that bottom number must be a 1 if it is a unit rate. We talked about this in 5th grade. This is bringing, 6th grade, sorry. This is bringing it back to Jesus. Jesus is always our strong foundation, and so our unit rate stands on a strong foundation of 1. Okay? So in this problem here, we're going to find the unit rate for pounds per box. So we want pounds on top in the numerator. We want box on the bottom, okay? But because we want a unit rate, we want our box to be 1. If you look in this table, we actually have that right here. So all we have to do is 1 box per 30 pounds. Do write your units. For unit rate, you must write your units. So 30 pounds for 1 box. This is your unit rate, and that's all you had to do. Now we're going to go back and find the unit rate for this one, for number 2, because I skipped that. So number 2 says we're going to find a unit rate for $2.50. So $2.50 for 5 ounces, and the abbreviation for ounces is OZ. So what we need to do is we need to get a 1 in the denominator since we want a unit rate, okay? We can see that we're just going to divide this by 5, okay, to get that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our $2.50 and we're going to divide it by, so $2.50 divided by our 5. 5 is doing the dividing, so he is going to go on the outside. We're going to get an answer of money. We're going to have great faith and bring up the decimal. Does 5 go into 2? No, so we're going to have 0. Does 5 go into 25? Yes, 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. That's 0. And then we're going to bring down that 0. 5 goes into 0. It doesn't, so we're going to come up and put that 0 there. So we're going to say that 1 ounce costs 50 cents. So our unit rate is 50 cents per ounce. So this is a unit rate because it's come back to 1, it's come back to Jesus as our sure foundation. Alrighty? All right, the next one we're going to look at is you create 15 centerpieces for a party in 5 hours. They want us to tell them the unit rate. So we are making 15 centerpieces, I'm just going to put piece beside them, in 5 hours. Okay? Now, I need to get to 1 because I am doing a unit rate. So I'm going to say 15 divided by 5 is, okay, 5 divided by 5 is 1. We can also think of it this way, 5 divided by 5 is 1. And because this is an easy one, 15 divided by 5 is 3. So we are making 3 centerpieces per hour. Then it asks us how long will it take to make 42 centerpieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of information, which is my unit rate, and I'm going to set it up. So 3 pieces, spelled that wrong, sorry about that. So 3 pieces in 1 hour, and I want to make 42 pieces. I have to be very careful that I keep the pieces in the same spot, so they're both going to be in my numerator. And in my denominator, I'm going to solve for the hours that it's going to take me. Okay? I could do the butterfly method. So 1 times 42 is just 42. And then I have 3 times the x, which is just 3x. And to solve this, we know that we're going to divide both sides by 3. That leaves us with x equals, and we're just going to do this division. So 3 goes into 42. 3 goes into 4 one time. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down the 2. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 times 4 is 12. So it goes in exactly 14 times. So to make 42 pieces, it is going to take me 14 hours. Alrighty. Now we have one more definition on our page, so we're going to come back over here for a minute. We are going to go through some of these complex fractions in class. So a complex fraction has at least one fraction in the numerator, which is the top, or in the denominator, or both. Okay, basically it's very messy, and so you need to simplify complex fractions. You'll do a lot of work with these in later grades, but right now with our rates, often they are fractions, and so sometimes we'll have a fraction divided by a fraction. Alrighty, so this is section 5.1. This is about ratios and rates.